Okay. Talk about your next big miracle.
Yeah, it's still on me, I guess, for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah.
1987 in the spring,
Mm-hmm.
and I was traveling back down to Arkansas, and I had held a baby. Somebody had had a baby, and I had held the baby, and I wanted someone to call me mommy. So, on the way driving by myself, I remember I was in a little truck, a little Toyota or something. We had a little Toyota. And I had cried out to God, and I said, I want to have someone call me mommy. And so I cried out to him, and of course I cried. And so I was, driving along, bawling and stuff, and calling out to God. And I want someone to call me mommy. You fixed Sarah. And I didn't know what he did to Sarah, but I knew he fixed Sarah, and I knew he fixed Elizabeth. And I said, if you can fix them, you can fix me. And boomy, I stopped crying just like that. And that had happened once before, that I stopped crying when I was crying out to the Lord, which I neglected to do in these things of the Lord. But anyway, can't do every one of them. But anyway, so I stopped crying right away. And I thought, oh, okay. So I knew something, he had taken it off my mind or whatever. So I drove back down, and about 6 months later, everybody got the flu in the area. And I got the flu, and everybody else got rid of theirs, but I didn't get rid of mine. And so I finally had to go to the doctor, and the doctor wanted to do some tests. And he said, I'd like to do a pregnancy test. And I said, don't bother. I said, I can't have children. I said, I've even done fertility things, treatments where you give double pills, to have a child, and did everything, all the different things you can do, and no children.
You had a bunch of things wrong.
Yes, the doctor said I had 7 things wrong. One of them was no periods, and one of them was endometriosis, and they said I didn't have any. My lining was all smooth. There was no eggs, and no eggs being formed, whatever that means. And anyway, there were 7 things, and so I had gone. Anyway, the doctor kept bugging me for a pregnancy test, and of course tests cost over there, so I didn't particularly want to do one. So we did a couple more tests, and then he said, I'd really like to do a pregnancy test. I said, okay, just to get him off my back. So he came back a little while later, and he said, well, I found out what was the matter. And I thought, oh, good. He's going to give me a
Prescription?
prescription for the flu or whatever it was, some bug or whatever. And he said, you're pregnant. And I thought he was playing a mean trick on me. I thought somehow he knew I couldn't have children. Well, I guess I told him that. But anyway, and he was just, playing a mean trick on me that you are pregnant and I'm not, And I said, that's not very nice to do that. I have to start that again. We have to cut that.
Why?
Because it was bad. Now let me see, where was I going to put it? So he was doing a bunch of tests, and they cost money, so I said, don't bother doing a pregnancy test. I said, because I can't get pregnant. Oh, that's too far back. Anyway, we'll tack this on to the end.
Sure.
I said, you're playing a mean trick and it's not very nice. So he said, no, I'm not. He said, you are pregnant. And then it hit me that God had healed me. Then I really started bawling, and I said, God healed me. I said, it's a miracle, and I was bawling. And he said, oh, that's wonderful. And so anyway, and so I had Kim in December, and then I had Matthew 2 years, almost to the day later.
Well, didn't they once ask you at Mother's Day?
Oh yes, at Mother's Day. Anyway, we were going to a church. I think it seats about 300, 400, something like that. Great big Pentecostal church. And they asked if I would speak on Mother's Day because they'd heard about, the miracle of Kimberly. And because they'd come to my house, a couple people from church had come to my house and heard the story. And so they wanted me to say it. And so I did. I said, okay, I will. And I was trying to find somebody in the audience that I knew. I only knew a couple people in the audience. And so I just acted like I was speaking to them, but I still was so shy. I didn't think I could do it. So I had the stupid mic in my hand, and I said right into it, Lord, please give me the words, because I was so nervous. I didn't even realize that that everyone in the world could hear me. And anyway, and he did. As soon as I started, as soon as I said the first couple words, boomy, God stepped in and the Holy Spirit gave me all the words to say. And I got so calm because it was just coming out naturally. And I was looking around the audience and everyone was crying, men and women alike. They were all crying. And years later, I still had people come up to me on the street and say, look, there's that, or not look, but there's that miracle girl, Kimberly, And anyway, so that was the next big miracle.
Wow, what a wonderful story.
Yeah.